Hi, my name is Declan Baharini. I'm the Director of International Newcastle, and I'm here today to tell you a bit about Newcastle's international ambitions, connections, and our plans for the future. Newcastle is a very international city already, and we have partners right across the globe from either civic connections to voluntary and community sector to the diverse communities that live in the city, and also education institutions from schools and colleges to our two universities who work globally. We have an incredible array of cultural organisations and creative industries in Newcastle that connect to the world, and our businesses as well as having international businesses located here. We have businesses that trade internationally and also organisations such as the Chamber of Commerce that link right across the world. Health and science are an important part of the economy of Newcastle and where we're moving forward. And we also have wide-ranging road, sea, air and rail transport links from the region across the world. So who's International Newcastle? We're a community interest company, a social enterprise, not-for-profit, and it's our ambition is to increase international connections, interactions and opportunities for the people who live, work, study and do business here, as well as to promote inclusion and intercultural awareness in our communities and to improve the social and economic well-being of people in the city and people who come here. We have a fantastic board. We're very well supported by the City Council as well as both universities and the Chamber of Commerce. And we also have Newcastles of the World involved in our board, which is an international friendship organisation, as well as an international development organisation, COCO, that works with children, schools and communities in East Africa. We're currently recruiting board members, and that's open until the end of the month, 30th of September. And if you're interested, you can get in touch with me. And we're trying to recruit people who can help us achieve the ambitions which I'm going to outline to you today. I don't need to tell anyone that the world today is getting increasingly complex, and we have so many challenges to face, from the climate emergency and the social divides and inequalities that we see all around us and those disparities. But also the UK is exiting the European Union, which was one of the things that actually was driving forward the work of International Newcastle. And on top of that, the COVID crisis, which is bringing so many challenges around health and the economy and the society in general. It could be a very depressing picture, but actually we think that we can and should be more connected than ever. Newcastle is an international city, as I say. We've got so many connections and networks, and we believe that we have a world of opportunity that we can develop in the city that will make a real difference. So what's our role as International Newcastle in this? Well, we are a very small company, but our role mainly is around brokering and enabling collaboration around international relations. And I'll talk to you a bit about that plan that we're putting forward and the work that's going on. But essentially, we're trying to add value, to generate some opportunities, to enhance and develop new international links and experiences for people and deepen the relationships that we already have. We are facilitating stakeholder involvement, so that's bringing in a lot more different organisations and people who have an interest in international relations and creating international opportunities. And we have developed a plan with actions and work strands, and we are trying to drive that forward now and hope that people will get on board. We are brokering relationships both within the city and with national and international organisations, institutions and regions to support these ambitions. And we also aim to profile all of the good work that happens locally, nationally and internationally around Newcastle. So we started a kind of on this new path that we're on, this new strategic direction at the end of 2018, and in early 2019 Newcastle became one of 10 cities in the UK that was working with the British Council to develop international relations. And every city has taken a different path to this, but in Newcastle this was primarily around developing a strategic framework where we could have an international city plan and we could work together to achieve the ambitions that the people in the city and the organisations involved felt that that was the direction we should move in. We started that process last April in 2019, and we developed a vision called Our Newcastle, Our World, which gives us the kind of framework and principles to move forward. The first principle really is that we're a welcoming, friendly city to live and work in. Now that might feel quite obvious, as does the next one about being outward looking and encouraging international collaboration. But actually, as the UK is seen sometimes as isolationist, and all of the difficulties that have come with the Brexit agenda, we feel that it's important to state that we are outward looking, that we are open for business, that we do want to connect and engage. But the third point there really is also valuing and embracing the diversity that is within the city as well. In terms of the sort of main action as part of this vision, we want to create more opportunities for people and nurture skills, talent and growth on an international level for the people here so that they can benefit and grow and succeed. We also have a wealth of expertise and strengths in the city, and we want to share that with others around the world, but also learn from others in areas where we can learn from them and improve some of the challenges we have. A key area really is to look at the local issues which also have a global element to them, and to address the urban challenges and inequalities that we do have. An example of that, for example, is around climate emergency, where that is a global issue, but we also have a regional coalition supporting action around this. And last week in September, the Newcastle City Council and the Net Zero Partnership launched their action plan. So it is both local and global, and that can be said for many of the issues that we are looking at and promoting. And we are also looking at all of the Sustainable Development Goals that have come out from the UN and seeing where we can add value to those as well. So what is the partnership approach that we're taking? Well, we believe that all of these different elements of society can be part of an international approach, and that from businesses to civic leadership, from civil society to the arts, education and our communities, and the national and international networks that different organisations and communities and groups are involved in, that we can connect from the local to the global and add some value and make a difference. The principles of how we work are the principles of any partnership, really, that we should ensure that everyone has a voice and their ideas are taken into account, that we can explore and challenge ourselves, that people actually feel engaged and that they feel some ownership of what we do, and that also what we do makes a difference. There is no point in having a partnership unless you actually make change for the better. But to do that, we believe that we need to share the knowledge, links, resources and capacity of all of those different partners to do that. And an overarching principle is around always taking into account the climate emergency in our actions. It's an overwhelming agenda, it's a huge agenda, but actually we chose a priority last summer around children and young people from 0 to 30 to become confident global citizens. And actually, I believe this is even more important now within this climate that we're living, that those young people do have an opportunity to engage And what one of the partners said during our consultations last year really struck a chord. The international should be an entitlement rather than something that happens by chance. We have to make this happen. There is lots of activity anyway in lots of different areas, and unless we actually can pull together, we can actually do something, make a change, and be more than the sum of our parts. In the consultation last year with youth connectors, all those who work with young people, and we had young people themselves, you can see here the sort of 5 key areas that were the ambition around this priority, which were essentially the opportunities are there and that children and young people feel that they can access them, and whether that be languages, travel, training, study and work, or volunteering, as well as business opportunities. These are really critical because people should be inspired by internationalism. It is inspiring and it will help develop skills, talent, and nurture growth. Languages came through as a key area that young people wanted to speak and learn and celebrate in the city and join with others across the world. And linked to that is also that we want to embrace our international communities in the city, to understand them better, to celebrate and value that diversity that we have here. And we do have it in spades. People want to feel connected to the world. So at a time where COVID, Brexit, and everything else is underway, actually, rather than feeling more isolated, we want to be able to help young people to have a range of international and intercultural experiences so that they do feel more connected to the world. The ultimate goal is that they are active and confident global citizens and that they can take an active part in making a difference to this world. So we developed an action plan and a work programme that involves 3 key areas. One is around connecting internationally. So that is about increasing those international and intercultural experiences and engagement and opportunities that there are. There's a strand around City of Languages, which is about improving the take-up of languages and also the ability for people to learn languages, whether they're from the community or from business, and or just for fun, and celebrate the diversity of languages in the city. And the third strand is internationalism in the city, which is around increasing that intercultural awareness and celebrating the communities and the cultural diversity in Newcastle. As you'll see under these strands, we have a range of different partnerships that are operating. We have the Internationalism Alliance, which I'll come on to talk about, which is about the Connecting International strand and really both connecting partners in the city, but also with national partners and a national alliance that exists. And this is very much around layering and brokering international links and access to opportunity and experience, as well as promoting and hosting international visits and delegations, which isn't happening very much at the moment, but we shall continue to do that when it's safe to do so. The City of Languages strand, probably the most active strand, has been going the longest, has a strategic working group that has been fantastic, of providers and language promoters, both from Newcastle, from the region and nationally. And we have a huge agenda and a range of activities that have been delivered over the last few months, from February really, and we have a whole load of plans that we want to continue with over the autumn and into next year. The Internationalism in the City agenda was going to be driven by City of Dreams, which is a partnership of cultural organisations that very much engage young people across the city from the diaspora and diverse communities. But that unfortunately was subject to fill in the lockdown, but we're hoping we can develop a partnership around this as part of the Internationalism Alliance to take that forward. So just to come to connecting internationally, international links are so important. And we do have many, but as I say, a lot of different organisations have those links, but are we joined up? Are we maximising what we could do? The ambitions that came through our consultation have been that we should be inclusive, that every young person should be able to have an international experience, regardless of where they come from, what their background is, or their social and economic circumstances. We want this to be sustainable. We can't travel at the moment, but when we can, we want to promote sustainable travel and exchange. But the rise of digital technology and platforms enables us to connect to others across the world in so many different ways that we want to promote the use of that and those various platforms that exist to ensure that we can deepen relationships and build those up over time, and hopefully, when it's safe to do so, promote travel and exchange as well. We do want this nationalism really to be embedded in the curriculum, and this isn't just about languages. This is about connecting subjects, connecting young people, having a whole school approach to internationalism right across the curriculum. We think that international connection should be life enhancing, and there are so many opportunities out there for volunteering, for projects, for young people who they may not know about, but they're there and they're active and they're there now, and they could get involved in those and they can be life-changing. We also think that it's really important to build international experiences into progression from school, in further education and training programs, into apprenticeships, for work placements and work experiences, so that we can involve businesses and skills providers and funders in this. This doesn't seem to be there to any great extent at the moment, but we're hoping that that will be something that we come with. And professionally, obviously, we have an ambition around businesses enabling international work experience, but also that young people have the opportunity to either work abroad or in international companies within the city. So how are we taking this forward? There's two strands here. There's a city strand and there's a national strand. We work very, very closely with the British Council, and they have established a national internationalism alliance for young people which very much echoes what we are trying to do. And we want to establish our own alliance, which will be a partnership of both local, regional, and national and international organisations to support our ambitions in Newcastle. So the British Council is an absolute key partner of ours, and we've been working with them now for 2 years. They have global reach. They work in more than 100 countries. They reach 80 million people directly, and they are the UK's international organization for cultural relations and education opportunities. From their own slides, this is what they have said their vision is, which is to convene partners across the sectors, much as we are doing, and to co-create a campaign which will ensure all young people have access to international opportunities. So very much in with our own vision. Their alliance, this is the National Alliance, they've been building this since last year, and they convened the alliance in February, physically in London, and I was invited to speak there about our ambitions. And then they have held a number of online events this year to consolidate the thinking, to gather ideas, and to work in particular areas. There are working groups now. There was last week on employment and engaging employers, and there was one today on languages and how do we promote languages. So very much, as I say, in line with the activities that we're doing, but it comes with the added value of having national organisations and influence nationally over policy and strategy as well. So they have put together a pledge for anybody to sign up to, which is about offering those opportunities to every young person in the UK to learn from, connect with others around the world. They and we see that our international links and the way that we work with people internationally is so important for both the future of individuals, but also the country as a whole. So if you feel like you want to get involved in that national alliance, the link is there. Please do get involved and sign up. We have many partners from Newcastle who've already joined, signed up and agreed to that pledge. In terms of how the British Council see Newcastle and how we work with them, they see us as pioneers. We are the only city-based internationalism alliance at the moment, but there are more being developed, but we're at the forefront at the moment. And because of our priority, we are directly aligned with the priorities of the National Alliance. They are giving us so many connections to all of the different aspects of our work. It's been absolutely incredible, connecting us to a whole range of embassies and cultural institutions, language organisations, and any time that we are developing an initiative, they are able to add value and share their assets with us and their expertise and their networks. So, and we work directly with them on initiatives for Newcastle that can then hopefully be shared as good practice with other parts of the country. So for our own Internationalism Alliance, we launched this. It should have been launched in March, but COVID came along and stopped us having our first ever networking event. So we held it as a webinar in May, and we looked at all the elements that I've talked about and brought people together to generate ideas and think about some of the challenges and how we can overcome them. We've also been involved both as International Newcastle, but also many of the partners from Newcastle in those National Alliance webinars and working groups that I talked about, which are very much linked to our key themes, especially the first three here, where we will take forward partnerships around employment and skills, which for me also includes business and enterprising behaviour and entrepreneurship, around languages, and around intercultural opportunities for young people. And we also have an extra theme that the National Alliance doesn't have, which is around internationalism in the city, and we want to build a partnership around that as well. So in terms of what are the gaps and barriers that we're trying to overcome? Well, a lot of young people don't really think about internationalism and what it means for them. They might not know what there is that they can get involved in. Well, we know they don't because they're being told that. And some obviously experience challenges around being able to access opportunities and experience for a whole range of different reasons. It could be cultural, social, economic. So there are a whole range of disparities that we would like to overcome. But there's also tends to be a lack of internationalism within some informal and formal education settings, as well as vocational training, apprenticeships and careers advice, and we would like to change that. And there may be barriers to engaging with businesses, which may be international businesses that are located in the city, or businesses with international outlooks or trading internationally. But there is a disconnect between the young people and those businesses. In terms of challenges for businesses, employers, training organisations and apprenticeships around this agenda, they too may not know who's doing what to support internationalism. Huge pressures on everybody around businesses, just being able to run and be resilient with COVID and Brexit and all the different things that are going on. Some of them may not have any appropriate links or international connections and would like to support that, but we don't know how to incorporate those international perspectives and experiences into these different elements. So there does seem to be a lack of internationalism in a lot of policy and strategy in the region and nationally, and not a priority put on it. But there's also issues obviously around safeguarding that need to be taken into account. So yes, there are a lot of challenges, But what do we think we can do? Why can we work better as an alliance? If we build this partnership in the city and with the National Alliance, well, we do think we have a huge amount of learning and assets, resources, contacts and expertise that we can bring together to overcome some of these challenges. We think we can introduce international elements into education, training, apprenticeships and work if they're not already there. We can broker relationships within that alliance to build those knowledge and relationships and networks. We have across this city so many international links and connections. Can we share them? Can we layer them? Can we deepen relationships by having different types of relationships in similar cities and regions around the world or across different sectors? And we also think that we can promote and share digital technology solutions to support this work. And I think more and more, as the COVID crisis has embedded itself, people are getting used now to working more online and to being able to engage in international conversations, meetings, all sorts of different networks. So we do think this is a real possibility. We also think that working as a Newcastle International Alliance with the National Alliance means that we can complement the work that each is doing, that we can link in with national partners and other partners that we may not have linked to before. We can create links between local and national partners. We can together support and promote internationalism. So it's not just us as a city doing this. We have that national agenda, national partnership that really does give the whole international a massive boost. We can share opportunities across from the city to the national alliance, and we can enable access and agency for young people, which is a key priority for both alliances. And promoting the achievements is really, really important. Publicising what we do, how we do it, if we do it well, is so important. And I think in the longer term, we must advocate for policy support and investment in internationalism to support both young people across the UK, but young people in the city as well. So what are we doing with that alliance? Well, we're going to have a series of webinars and we'll be engaging partners in those from now over the winter into the new year to look at those particular themes that I was talking about around employment and skills and business, around languages, around creating more international and cultural experiences and opportunities, and also around internationalism in the city. We will keep working with the National Alliance on mutual priorities. And we're looking at something which Newcastle Startup Week is part of, which is the Tribes platform, thinking can we use this or something else as a way to enhance the partnership working on these areas, because at the moment we don't really have the perfect platform that will support this partnership. And we will be rolling out actions and sharing expertise, resources and ideas and opportunities all the time. We're doing it now and we'll continue to do that. So just to talk briefly about Newcastle City of Languages, this is an initiative which we launched in February, and it was based on the outcomes of a session that we held last November with people from all sections of society, organisations, businesses, educators, community and voluntary sector and civic society. And there was a real enthusiasm to do this, to promote Newcastle as the first city of languages in the UK, to bring people together, to make a difference, to promote language learning and the opportunities, not just for young people to learn languages, but also for the wider community and for businesses, and just to celebrate the languages that we have in the city as well. So there's been a huge amount of work going on since then. We have an expert working group that is amazing. It has brought local, regional, and national organisations, as well as national organisations from other countries, to help us develop an action plan around languages. As I say, we launched in February and we are rolling out a whole series of actions and activities. There's a lot of work around schools because we know that language learning has been declining in schools, and we want to promote not just language learning but also cultures and international perspectives in the curriculum. So we've had a number of events and webinars and training activities in schools, and we have all sorts of links to competitions and things that people can get involved in to make language learning fun and exciting. We were asked to create a central hub online to share language assets, and we did this. It was a huge undertaking because we're looking at language assets, organisations that support language learning, as well as all the kind of different resources that are available for language learning. And that's both foreign language learning as well as English as an additional language. So we've done that, and that is there, and that is constantly being updated. But we're also now looking more around work with language and careers, linking through businesses. And we have a number of discussions underway about how we can promote that, languages as a means to further careers and business ambitions. We are also looking at new ideas around a Festival of Languages in 2021, but also things to celebrate the heritage and home languages, the native speakers and the multilinguists that exist in all the different diaspora communities and migrant communities and people who've come to live in Newcastle from elsewhere, either a long time ago or more recently. So that is something that we're looking at now, and we're working with our national partners on that as well. So languages are absolutely key, and here are the top 3 reasons to learn. Because for work and business, although you may feel that English is the lingua franca of the world, actually, when you have another language, it really does assist in having meaningful conversations and build a really solid working relationship with people from around the world, and helps you understand their culture as well, give you insights that you probably wouldn't get if you only spoke English, and as you'll see, it's great for travel as well and for starting conversations. But we are up against the challenge that, you know, because English is so widely spoken in the world, that people think they don't need to learn another language, but actually it really is life-changing, and it could be incredibly important for both individual careers as well as business development opportunities and growth. So this is just a link to our Newcastle City of Languages pages, and from there you can link to the resources pages, and there has been an explosion of resources made available. So as well as resources for schools, for the wider language learning, which is around community and business and other people learning for free, and the English is an additional language, you will see also that we have a wealth of online resources. Now this is both for formal education as well as informal language learning, and I would highly recommend that people visit that, because there are so many resources now being made available for free because of the COVID crisis. So it is one of the positive things that has come from that. And if you're a business, we have 2 very, very good opportunities in Newcastle. We have Newcastle University's Language Resource Centre, which has a business language communication centre, which is offering the ability for staff to learn languages very much tailored to business. And we also have the Language Centre, which has a whole range of bespoke training for business, especially around language and cultural awareness, but also services like translation and interpreting, international business support, and delegate shadowing. So we are very lucky in Newcastle that we have a whole range of organisations. So on the wider language learning, you can also see many of the different organisations that we have in Newcastle that support language learning in all its marvellous diversity. So in terms of internationalism in the city, this agenda is really something that we want to concentrate on within Newcastle. So we have started, but it's very much a work in progress, to try and create another sort of hub of information. And the main thing really is around our directory. So we're trying to list the different cultural organisations and community organisations and support that exist in Newcastle, and they could be very local or they could be international organisations. And I would recommend that you check the directory, and if you want to have an entry in there, do get in touch. We're also trying to celebrate the cultures and traditions and the different festivals that occur in Newcastle, of which there are many, and I'm sure there are many more that are not listed on this page, but we are gathering information about that. It is such a shame that a lot were not able to run this year due to COVID, but people have found different ways to share online, and there are lots of plans for these festivals and cultural celebrations to occur next year. Another way that we try to promote opportunities is through Twitter, and we're quite active on Twitter. So not only are we promoting things about intercultural awareness and about diverse communities in the city, we also link to a wide range of things that are happening internationally, both strategically or things that we think might interest people linked to those priority work strands that I've already talked about. And we also try to work with local organisations such as the police, who are offering things like recruitment for underrepresented groups such as women and those from Black, Asian and other ethnic minority populations, but also to give people here a chance to get involved in things that are conversations being had nationally, such as the British Council and UK and My Life, My Say organisation, which was running youth consultation in Newcastle as a focus in July, for example. So there's all sorts of different opportunities, and we try to keep our news page updated, but Twitter's probably the place to follow us at Inter Newcastle and keep up to date with all of the different things that are happening, and all sorts of different opportunities for funding, international links, or just to learn more about what's happening. So we will be exploring this strand through a webinar in the winter, so probably in the new year, and people can get involved in that, and there'll be more news about that in due course. So in conclusion, really, despite and because of all these challenges that could shut us down, that could make us become insular and isolated, we absolutely believe that we can and should be more international than ever. Newcastle is international. We want to actually join things up and make those networks work for those who live, work, study and do business here, to maximise those connections and to create more opportunities for people to be involved. Now, if you're interested in finding out more, as I say, you can join us on Twitter. You can keep up to date with all the news. You can go and check that online directory to see who's doing what in the city, in the region. You can sign up to our e-bulletins, which we should be starting up again in the next month or so, just to keep people in touch with what's happening. And you can share your ideas and opportunities, activities and expertise with us, which would be amazing. And you can contact me at declan@internationalnewcastle.org.uk. I hope you've enjoyed this session and I hope you found it interesting, and I very much look forward to hearing more from you in the future. Thank you.